Hey everybody, it is Dak here from the Ed Boys, and welcome to our Runscape 2007 free-to-play money-making guide. This is going to be making money with money for broke people, meaning there are 0 skill requirements, and you don't need that much money to start. As you can see, I'm going to start with 25 coins. Now, the one requirement needed for this guide is going to be access to the Grand Exchange, which means you either have to have 24 hours of game time or 7 quest points, if I'm not mistaken, meaning if you're straight off Tutorial Island, can't really do this yet. You got to get 7 quest points, but doing Sheep Shearer, Cook's Assistant, and then Romeo and Juliet takes you about 45 minutes, and it'll get you those quest points. But once you are ready, take your money and go to any general store. I'm just using the Lumbridge one here because it was the one closest to me. Start buying some tinderbox and hammers. This is going to be the first of 3 methods that I show. This will be the lowest money maker, but also the lowest requirement in terms of cash. As you can see, I'm just starting with 25 coins. What you're going to do is keep buying as many hammers and tinderboxes as you can, hopping worlds, and buying some more. And once you have a full inventory, run up to the Grand Exchange, and I'll meet you guys there. Once you get to the Grand Exchange, you can go ahead and sell your tinderboxes and hammers. You can try and not be like me and sell all of your tinderboxes at one time. It took me like 4 attempts before I didn't just sell one. I don't understand what happened. Clearly, I was having an off day. Once you are done selling that stuff, or you got a little bit of cash back, you can go ahead and run back to any general store. This time, I'm going to be using the Varrock General Store because it is pretty close to a bank. You can also use the Falador General Store. It is another reasonable option. And the Lumbridge one works, but it's a little bit more of a run to a bank. It all just depends on how many people are buying the stuff from the general store, but there are usually hammers and tinderboxes available, so the Varrock one works pretty well. Now the thing is, you're only buying these hammers and these tinderboxes for a coin a piece, and you can sell them for 50 to 100 a piece in the Grand Exchange. So you're making some decent cash. I'd say 30 to 35k an hour was what I found I was making. It's not phenomenal, but with how little cash it requires to do, it is a great way to start off your money making. So this is nearly half an hour of buying hammers and tinderboxes. I'm going to make around 20k, which means about 40k an hour. So I was kind of cruising. You could even get up to 50k an hour depending on prices and how fast you are going. Maybe you're a little bit better than me. Very possible. Maybe not possible. I mean, I'm kind of a beast out here making like 40k an hour. But once you have a little bit of money, we can move on to the next method. It's very similar, guys. You're going to run off to another general store. Anyone you want to use, could be using the same one you used before, and start buying the packs of empty jugs. It's 200 coins for 100 noted empty jugs. Now that's 2 coins per jug, and you can pretty easily sell empty jugs back for 3 coins a piece, which is a decent profit. But what I suggest doing is buying as many jugs as you're willing to buy, and then filling them up with water and then selling them. A jug of water is around 20 coins a piece. They sell basically instantly for 17 or 18 at this point. But you can sell it for 20 coins a piece pretty quickly too, and make a much better profit than you were doing at the hammers. You go from around 40k an hour, to around 60k an hour. So it's still not phenomenal, but it does not require very much money to do. It doesn't require any skills, and it's a little bit of a boost. Plus, there's a slight AFK factor while filling up the jugs. The only problem, not really obvious when just looking at the jugs if it's filled with water or not. There's just a little bit of extra blue at the top. So I personally don't spot it very well, and what I like to do is put my mouse at my final jug in my inventory, and then look at the top left corner of the screen for when it says jug and changes to jug of water. Does that make sense? So I filled up jugs for just over an hour and 5 minutes about, and I made, just from the jugs, about 45k. So I was pretty slow. I'll admit that I'm doing 2 things at once here. But 45k an hour is clearly, it's kind of a minimum because you can make 45k an hour if you're not doing great. I'd say 50 to 60k is the normal rate. Right around 50k. 60k is not pushing it, but that's when you're cruising. You're making 0 mistakes. You're running back from the fountain immediately. It's kind of the max, but it's still, again, for the requirements, really not too bad. Now let's move on to the third method. Alright, we're going to fast forward a little bit here in your money-making journey. You'll see that I have around 250k on me. I have exactly 250k on me, not around. But you're going to want around 250k to start. The more the merrier in this situation, but you can still do this with like 60k. The only problem is you guys will run up to the Grand Exchange and sell more often, which does mean less money per hour because more running. But I'm currently at this magic shop in Port Sarim, and I'm just purchasing Death Runes, Chaos Runes, and then Elemental Rune pouches. The Death Runes are the best profit here because you can buy them for around 240-ish coins a piece, 220 a piece, and you can sell them at the GE usually for around 300 a piece. So you always want to buy as many death runes as you see in the shop. And then chaos runes, you can usually buy them for just over 90 a piece and sell them for 100 in the GE. So I like to buy the chaos runes as long as there's above 200 in the store. Once it drops below 200 left in the store, they usually cost a little too much to be worth my time. Personally, you can still make a little bit of profit, but you're cutting yourself short. You probably should just wait till it goes back above 200. And then in terms of the elemental rune packs, as I usually like to buy them as long as there's more than 60 in there, because they buy for around 430 a piece, and you can sell the runes you get for them for 500 coins, so 70 coins per pack. Overall, this adds up pretty well. The only negatives is that there are other people doing this, so in terms of death runes and sometimes chaos runes, they're usually getting sold out pretty quickly. Most people doing this are just hunting for death runes. So what I like to do is spend more time on these elemental rune pouches and make some profit from those. You get a little bit of AFK when you open the pouches. It's just about guaranteed money because you can always sell them for sell runes, in the grand exchange for 5 coins a piece. It takes a little bit of time. They don't insta sell at 5. It's more like a 5-minute sell. It's insta sell at 4 coins, but you still make a pretty good profit. This turns out to be the best money maker of the 3 I've shown. It just requires a little bit more cash to start. But we'll see exactly how much money in just a minute. I'm going to spend all 250k, and then I'll be right back. I'm just about done spending all 250k on runes. We did a pretty good job here. I'm actually expecting a little bit more profit than I thought at first, but we'll see when I get to the grand exchange. Now that I've spent all the coins, I am going to run up to the GE and go ahead and sell these runes. We'll see how much money we made. So it took me 15 minutes almost on the dot to buy these runes, and then another about 10 minutes to sell them. So we'll round that 25 minutes to get all this money up to 30 just to make it simpler. So it looks like we made 39k in 30 minutes. That'd be almost 80k an hour. So if we didn't round, maybe you could get right around 100k an hour. So we're going to see 70 to 100k an hour on this method. You do need a little bit of money to start, of course, but this was the best of the 3 methods in terms of cash. And all 3 of these methods are more for beginners. So once you've made a pretty good amount of money and you can go buy other things to make more money, you really don't want to be using these methods anymore. But this is a great way to make some cash if you have absolutely nothing. I hope that you guys got some good information from this guide. If you do have any questions, go ahead and ask them in the comments section. I'm always willing to answer. I know that I don't go over every single point in these guides because we could talk about these for hours. As simple of a method as these are, there's a lot of different variables in them that we could discuss here. But I wanted to make a fairly short guide about it so that all you guys get some info on how to make some cash as a free-to-play player with nothing. And now that I'm wrapping it up and I've said I wanted to make a short guide about it, I realize we're at almost 8 minutes, so I gotta get out of here, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed or got some helpful information, and I will see you next time. Thank you everyone for watching today's video. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to click on that like button and tell us what you enjoyed about it. If you're looking for some more RuneScape videos like this one, then be sure to join the cul-de-sac by subscribing for more. We will see you next time.